guys? David from FX Layouts here, and today I've got this new circuit board, the Slinger. It is a dual-layer fab version of the dirt transmitter board we did a few weeks ago, and you can actually buy this in the new FX Layout store. There's a link in the description below. Be sure and check that out. Anyway, I thought it would be cool to do a build video with this board from the board into an enclosure and get the whole thing going. I haven't tested it yet. Hopefully it works. It should work, but fingers crossed. Let's get started. So real quick, a couple things before we get going. This 1K resistor on the silk screen, it says 1K. It's not. It's a 3.3K. I apparently copied the wrong wrong text layer, or I forgot to rename it when I threw it on there in Eagle. And also you'll see if you buy one of these things, there's a chance you'll get one that says Q3 and Q4 instead of Q1 and Q2. The reason being I made this as a little panel and forgot to rename these two. It just snaps apart. Otherwise, everything should be good. Just know that that 1K resistor is actually a 3.3K. So the way I build these things up is I start with the flattest components first, which in this case is the resistors. So I'm going to go ahead and, since before I forget that that 1K resistor is actually a 3.3K, I'm going to go ahead and populate that one first. So the last resistor I'm going to put in is this one for CLR, which stands for current limiting resistor, and that's what is going to connect to the LED for your on-off indicator when you're using standard 3PDT foot switch. So here I'm just using a 4.7K resistor. You can adjust that to taste or what you have on hand. Anything between 2.2 and 10 is standard seams, so just use what you prefer. And lastly, for these flat components, I'm going to throw in the polarity protection diode, which is a 1N4001. Other diodes in the 400X series will work just fine. It's just there to protect the circuit in case you use the wrong power supply. Alright, now while my soldering iron is heating up, I'm going to flip this over, but I like to use something at least somewhat rigid. I'm going to use this piece of styrofoam, put over the board, and just flip it over like that. That way everything stays put. Alright, now that that's done, let's trim some leaves. Alright, so from here, then the next shortest component would be the small value capacitors, like these two 100p caps and this one 470p cap. So let's grab those and get those in there. I'm using ceramic caps for these because I don't have many values, many picofarad values in film. Of course, as soon as I say that, I've realized I have some 470p little greenies that I'm going to use over here. Alright, next ones would be these two 6.8N caps. I kind of jumped ahead of myself, and I should have soldered in some sockets for the transistors before I did some of these taller caps. But that's not that big a deal because this foam gives a good bit. So I can throw in my sockets, at least one to start with. Smush my foam down, flip it over, and should hold it in place. I want to try out a couple different transistors in this, but I do have the 2N1711s like it's in the original, so I am going to throw in this other socket just to have a little easier time of getting those transistors to sit nicely. A little trick if you're trying to put sockets in a row of 3 plus 1 out here, you can always use super glue. You can cut the 3, then super glue the 4th one on. Sadly, I am out of super glue, so I'm just winging it. Alright, now I can move on to the rest of the caps, which are all electrolytic. We'll start with the smaller ones, like this 4.7, and these two 22 UF. Alright, now let's populate the pots. I have the values labeled on them and names as well. So I'm going to start with the level and tone pot, so it's easier for me to solder them in from the back side. Although since this is a dual layer board, I have solder pads on the top as well, so it doesn't matter as much with a dual layer board. But if you're using a single-sided layout on an etched board or on perf board, it's better to start, where you can only solder on the back, it's better to start here and then work down to here. When you have a bare pot like this going over solder joints, you don't want that to cause a short, because this is going to be connected to ground through the enclosure. So you can either use some good old electrical tape, or if you have pots that have the plastic dust shield, it's not going to be a problem. Or you can use some of this foam double-sided tape, works really good, to just create a spacer and isolate the pot from shorting out the back of the board. Now, I seem to not have any 5K pots or B5K pots, linear taper, with right angled PCB mount. I have them in solder lug, so I'm going to cheat and use some heavier duty solid core wire and make my own legs for that pot. It's a good little tip if you, like me, have run out or just don't want to spend the extra couple cents for the right angle pots. You can make your own solder legs for still board mounting them, and you don't have to use hookup wire or anything. So what you want to do is take about an inch worth of solid core wire. This is actually from my old garage door opener that I salvaged it from, and cut off what you need. And I like to use one of my favorite tools, this vice grip wire stripper. Just clamps in and pops off as much as you need. Then you can take some pliers, hold the wire part, and pull off the rest of it. You got one of these little alligator clip stand things. You can mount the pot on that. Take your wire, grab some tweezers, make a little loop, and then place it on the solder lug. just solder them on. And there you go. So now I'm gonna go and solder in these pots first, so I get the height right. I'm just gonna solder one lug first, just to get so I can align them a little better before I do the other two lugs on each pot. Alright, so now that I got those in there, I can now put another piece of double-sided tape on here. And I pulled off the dust cover on this pot we adjusted or modified with the copper wire, so that the height spacing doesn't get off. And we've got the double-sided tape so that it's still insulated. Now we have extra lead. Wanted to have plenty of that just so we could, yeah, that was a lot. You don't need that much. Maybe just cut off half an inch. Alright, now we just got to add some hookup wire for the in and out and the power, and we can test this. I'm going to use more of that upcycled garage door opener wire. Now to figure out what I did with my little stash of 2N1711 transistors.
A few moments later.
Found them. Alright, there we go. On to testing. So now I'm going to grab my little breadboard test rig, just a tin with a little breadboard and some jacks. I'm just going to plug in the board and hope everything works. Alright, let's fire this thing up.
Two hours later.
So now we're ready to box this up. I've got this 1590B ready to go with Dirty Harry on there. I drilled it for top mounted jacks. That's always a fun challenge, but it's totally doable if you're precise with your drilling. Well, guys, all that's left is to play the heck out of it. Here's my clean tone. And with the soil slinger. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. It's like I'm vaping solder fumes.